So
You
essentially,
know,
the flying Raijin ability gives you an ability to instantaneously teleport. However, after the teleportation is executed, you have to be fast enough to
to
execute an
land an
attack.
attack on them, and
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
the
and
problem. If you're
the
not
statement
fast enough
also,
to land an attack, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So
yeah, exactly. And the statement also said he once was Herald, so it indicates a time in the past. It's not a specific time period. So
Yes. It's
what
very
I'm
vague.
thinking it's referring to is the Warren States period where Tobirama was blatantly over Izuna, who
Yeah.
was superior to Madara at that time, kind of like Shisui and Itachi during their like times of adolescence. Similar dynamic, right? So him outspeeding someone like Izuna during that time would, declare him the fastest at that time.
Yeah.
And especially like with Batman saying having the flying rising slice, which is what was the mortal blow in the first place, that just adds to the fact of him being fast, right?
Yeah.
So
If anything,
yeah.
at best, you could say the ability to instantaneously teleport is what makes him the fastest. But then again, that's just the teleportation itself. The attack in question after the teleportation is certainly not instantaneous, and that is where he probably loses against someone like Hashirama or Madara in terms of being able to successfully execute an attack after
yeah,
Like
the
Tobirama used
teleportation.
flying rising on Madara with when he was like with Hashirama stage mode and still
Yeah, he
reacted to it.
failed.
So
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like I said, it just doesn't matter. Like the
yeah.
flying Raijin is the only form of scaling that is able to like give Madara or Hashirama a run for their money, but it's only for one moment, and since it can't attack them, right? It can't do anything to where it just doesn't matter because their scaling has to be
yeah,
competent enough to execute an attack right
and
after they come out.
yeah, and the reason
Mm.
why Minato has a better case for being faster is if you analyze and monitor his performance against the fourth Raikage, not only did obviously he utilize Flying Raijin, he was able to successfully react to the fourth Raikage's greatest speed, which canonically is stated to
Yeah.
be at least relativistic to the speed of light, and that's not dependent upon the Flying Raijin. That is solely dependent upon his own ability to react. His ability to
Mhm.
react is relative to the
Yep.
speed of light. Then he used the Flying Raijin, which is instantaneous. That's why he has a better
Yep.
case that he's the fastest of all time. Until we get to obviously, like KC and
Yeah.
Naruto
So
and things like
And,
that.
and not only that,
oh
like
yeah.
Yeah,
just another example, so you guys are understanding what we're saying. Like for instance, like when Minato does Flying Raijin in Sage mode, like it makes like Madara get like the question mark and estimate like where he was like very impressed by the speed of Flying Raijin, but the moment he reappears and he tries to land a Rising on him, Madara just immediately speed diffs and no
exactly.
diffs him,
Yeah,
right? So
Mhm.
it clearly shows that whenever Tobirama or Minato are using Flying Raijin, for that one moment, they're fine, right? Or whatever, it's broken. But when they reappear and they have to land an attack, okay, they have to be able to scale to their opponent either equally or be above to land that attack,
yeah,
right? And if that's not the case, then they're fucked. And that's how it is for Tobirama to Hashirama, or Minato to Jibi Madara, things like that, et cetera. Meaning, therefore, it's counterintuitive. That's why Minato was able to land a hit on Obito because he basically scaled to Obito. You know what I
yeah,
mean? And he could in his blind spot and now guaranteed a hit. While Madara, because he scales so much over Tobirama, even while Tobirama was in his blind spot as well, he could still no diff him.
yeah. Exactly. Essentially, the overall premise to battle is a multivariable equation. It's not simply just A or B. There's many factors that people maybe that are more naive tend to overlook. It's not simply just
Yeah.
you have Flying Raijin so you could solo and blitz somebody. That's not necessarily that simple.
GG's.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not necessarily that simple. It's being able to successfully execute and activate the Flying Raijin, one, and then being quick
Yeah.
enough to react after the teleportation has executed to successfully hit somebody, which we
Yep.
saw, a successful occurrence and a non-successful occurrence. Minato being able to do what he did against the fourth Raikage was successful. Tobirama
Yep.
failing to blitz Madara was unsuccessful, proving that his
Exactly.
reaction
Yeah.
time is clearly not instantaneous. Not even close.
Nope.
So,
So, like,
uh,
and
And
the
I think
only
in
time Tobirama
Hashirama's
actually had a W was on an off guard Uchiha that had no idea what even Flying Raijin
yeah,
was,
Izuna,
period,
yeah,
and landed on
literally.
Uzuna. That's it. The
yeah.
only time an off guard moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so
Like,
there's just more for Minato being faster, and on top of that, obviously Tobirama admits inferiority in terms of speed as well, which just
Mhm.
further reinforces that premise. But
But Jay, that's to Flying Raijin, so that
yeah,
doesn't.
Well, basically, Prime Hiruzen and Minato scale over Tobirama.
Yeah.
Hashirama scale is even above KCM2. Naruto is
Exactly.
above KCM2. Minato even.
Yep.
But
So
Shinobi, Tobirama plays seals on Jubito.
Oh my god. Jubito is their
well,
best
I
case.
mean,
He scales to 6 paths.
They just want to
I
disregard
guess that's
that.
facts, dog.
They just want to disregard
Yeah.
that he's fluctuating in power the whole time. Are we
That's
talking about the same
hilarious.
Denji that almost died while taking out Kidomaru? Yeah, same one.
That
Mhm.
Denji,
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, he can't.
Yeah,
fuck with Kimura.
that's not even debatable. Yeah.
Not even close.
I'm 100% sure they were talking about flying Raijin, flying Thunder God, because you can just that's what we're also assuming. Yeah.
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
Batman, did you see the video of all the anime YouTubers slamming that clown Gios? Well, they're asking you a question.
Wait, what?
Says, did you
see who?
See the video of all the anime YouTubers slamming down Gios?
No, I have not. You gotta
Uh-oh.
send the link. Send it to me on Discord or somewhere on my YouTube or in this chat or
But
something.
yeah,
I can
folks,
check it out.
feel free to keep asking questions. We shall continue with these questions while you guys ask. It could be anything, not even anime. We'll answer, obviously. So the next
But it
question...
doesn't surprise me. Gios' ass.
Yeah. The next question is actually quite interesting. It's a good question. Someone asked, could you discuss the strength of each tailed beast and who would they compare and how would they compare to like someone the likes of Rasa? And I'm assuming they said 1T. I'm assuming that means the one tail. So my answer to this would be, this is actually a particularly challenging question to answer because the difference in power between each tailed beast is ambiguous and consequently arbitrary. What we can extrapolate though from the canonical literature is that the 9 tails and 8 tails are the strongest of the tailed beast, as one, Naruto and Killer Bee, being the two Jinchurikis of these two tailed beasts respectively, held their own pretty well against 6 Dojutsu Amp Jinchuriki simultaneously, indicating their superiority. And 2, the 8 and 9 tailed Jinchurikis were able to offset the combined Bijou Bomb of the 6 Dojutsu Amp Jinchurikis, which further reinforces my premise that they are superior. So what we can safely conclude and indicate is that the 8 and 9 tails are the strongest. It's pretty blatantly shown.
The more
in the
tails
work.
you have, the more stronger you're gonna be. It's because you have way more chakra. So
But however, aside from that empirical piece of evidence and rationalization, it's hard to analyze any further the difference between the others individually. It's quite hard. Using less valid forms of logical strategies, you could suggest that the particular Akatsuki duo that took down any particular Jinchuriki in question could possibly indicate the caliber of Jinchuriki. However, that proposition certainly doesn't prove your premise, because you could just argue there's many reasons why a particular Akatsuki duo went after a particular Jinchuriki. It's not necessarily because they're stronger than another Jinchuriki, right? So that's not the best logical strategy to conclude. But what seems to be the case rationally is that it goes up the further you go up in tails. 1, 2, 3. It seems like that's the case, with Naruto clearly being by far the strongest tailed beast, and it being also implied at the very best that the 9 tails has the most chakra. It seems that it goes in some sort of linear or
it's just stated over and over. The 9 tails is the most powerful.
Yeah,
Everybody just always says
it's
it.
It's certainly implied, that the further you go in tails, the more likely that you're a stronger tailed beast or a stronger Jinchuriki as a result. So,
and also Naruto's he's like the only one that gets like a cloak when he goes like full like V2, if you will. So it kind of like indicates he's getting like some kind of like almost 6 task level of transformation, or he's on that borderline, you know, like almost there, but not quite. But
the only counter I would use to myself is the argument that I just brought up, which you can counter, to be fair. But you could say something like, "Oh, why did Kisame go after the 3 tail? Oh, what was it, the 3 tail? The lava released Jinchuriki."
4. Goku.
Then you can counter me and say, well, that doesn't prove that it's because he's stronger than the other Jinchuriki. Maybe that just happened to be the case.
And not only that, it's actually stated and explained why they weren't going after the 9 tails. Itachi, for one, he's a spy, so he's making every fucking excuse in the book to not do it. 2, what's called Kasame even says why it's not smart to do it, and that they actually have to collect them all in order for the ghetto statue. And then Kasama even brings up, well, why don't we just at least kidnap Naruto and have him hostage, right? And then Itachi was like, well, that doesn't matter, because then basically everyone would get upset. Konoha, they'll start forming alliances. It would just create a big uproar, blah, blah. Obito says that too. Zetsu emphasizes on that. Then even Kasame elaborates even further on the notion that Itachi was saying, and basically saying that it's just overall, it's just not smart, and to be patient and hunt that as last.
Yeah.
So
So essentially, it does seem to be the case that the higher you go up in tail, the number of tails, the more likely you're the more powerful one. Jinchurikis are
yeah,
stronger than their tailed beasts, respectively, by themselves, and that just seems to be the most rational conclusion, which I agree with as well. It just seems to be the case, but
the feats are just blatantly there. Like
yeah,
Naruto just like literally goes into his Biju form and just slams them all. What's it
Literally,
called?
dude.
Fucking he did like they do all their tail beast bombs, do a fusion fucking tail beast bomb, but make it as big as possible. Launch it at Naruto. Naruto does his tail beast bomb, makes it literally the same fucking size, but shoots it at a trajectory where he can launch it up and just like beats them all with that too. Fucking Killer Bee and the Nine Tails as well did like a Nine Tails
yeah,
beast bomb and beat them all. Like so overall,
Literally,
it's
yeah.
just shown that they're just way
yeah,
over. Like what I will say is they do have a form of relativity in a sense where they do have enough similar scaling to where if they are able to land attacks and things like that, they can hurt them. I will
Mm-hmm.
say that at least to B. Not, I won't say that for Nine Tails. That's never
Mm-hmm.
shown. But for B, that was the case. So like whenever like that one dude with the horn hit B, he was able to make him bleed, whatnot. So like they do have things like that, but the problem is when it comes like to a full on battle, Killer B is just gonna be more faster, more versatile because of him having more chakra, you name it. And then if it comes to like them doing a tail beast bomb battle, no matter what, Killer B will always win because he has the most chakra. So that's the problem. So even if they can hang to some degree in form, they're still over in a sense where they're always going to have the edge and win the fight because they're just more powerful.
yeah.
It's an
Essentially,
unfair advantage,
yeah. What
you
the
know.
important part is not necessarily the propositions as far as the exact difference in caliber. That's irrelevant. What is important is that the higher the number of tails you have,
Yeah.
the higher likelihood that you're more powerful, or that you are more
And then
powerful.
the Nine Tails even says that shit savagely. Like he's like, "Oh, like fucking bro, you have the most tails, whatever." To the Eight Tails, like stop being fucking trash and do your fucking job. And then literally, and then he
Yeah.
gets mad and butthurt. Shut up, Nine Tails. I told you that's not whatever, blah blah. It's not all about your tails, whatever. Like you're always doing that to one tail Shikaku, and that's fucked up. But basically, what was happening is Nine Tails like, hey, bro, you're technically the second strongest. Why are you struggling? Like, just handle this shit,
Yeah,
bro. You know what I mean? And then,
Yeah.
and the octopus dude is getting mad and butthurt because even though he knows it's the truth, he doesn't really want to admit to that because they're all practically like siblings. They're like family. Basically, in a sense, they're all raised
Uh-huh.
together with the Sage of Six Paths, you name it.
Mm-hmm.
And they are all clearly aware of who's over who, but obviously they're going to try to have like respect for one another and not be fucking dicks to each other, right? But the Nine Tails is the only one that is, while
yeah,
all the other ones try to be humble and respectful. So like there's
Kind of
just
can be.
now and feats and you name it to
yeah. So
clearly
the tailed beast scaling in
push it.
general is pretty interesting, though. Yeah, someone said I don't think
Yeah.
the flying thunder god speed is
They're
different
I
because
just want to say real quick, like
yeah,
there's certainly, like, as you guys have indicated, like there's a lot of empirical and narrative analysis that can indicate that they're definitely disproportionate in power levels. They're definitely proportionate in the fact that they are increasingly more stronger with the amount of tails, but it just makes me question, why would Hagoromo split the 10 tails into such disproportionate tailed beasts
yeah.
to
That's a good
create
question.
equality in the first place?
Yeah,
You know,
that definitely doesn't nearly guarantee equality or equal
like
standing.
Kurama is obviously over Shikaku. Like, it's not even funny.
Yeah, it's not
So
even
yeah.
it's very blatant that Kurama the strongest tailed beast, and it's honestly not even close. So I don't even think the Flying Thunder God speed is different because Flying Thunder God is instantaneous. Yeah, the ability itself is instantaneous. It's the activation time that matters. So yeah, that's true. Minato and Tobarama's Flying Thunder God are equal in speed, but their reaction times before and after are different.